7 mysteries of the Devil's Sea that science cannot explain deep within the Pacific Ocean, where maps warn of danger and compasses spin out of control, lies a region known as the Devil's Sea, or Dragon's Triangle, a place that, for centuries, has been an unsolved enigma for sailors, scientists, and survivors. Here, time seems to vanish, and logic is challenged by phenomena that defy all explanation. From terrifying disappearances to ghost ships, this time, we'll go through the 7 mysteries of the Devil's Sea, starting with the least terrifying and working our way up to the most chilling of them all. Are you ready? Because we're starting right now. Number 7. In 1913, a ship would become the witness of one of the most puzzling mysteries in history. Taking the 7th spot on our list, we have the Dalniar case. The South Pacific Ocean holds the silent testimony of a baffling event that still puzzles experts today. The Dalniar was caught in a violent storm in one of the most remote marine areas on Earth, sealing the tragic fate of its crew. But while a shipwreck in stormy seas isn't exactly unbelievable, what makes this case so mysterious are the bizarre events surrounding the incident. Events that remain unsolved to this day. The Dalniar was on its usual route across the South Pacific when it was suddenly hit by a monstrous storm. Massive waves crashed against the ship. Hurricane-force winds tore its masts apart, leaving it completely adrift. The crew had no choice but to abandon the ship, believing it was doomed to sink into the ocean's turbulent waters. But then, something truly shocking happened. 2 years after the Dalniar sank, its hull mysteriously reappeared on a coral reef in the Society Islands, more than 2,000 nautical miles away from where it disappeared. Even stranger? There were no known ocean currents connecting the two locations. Maritime experts were stunned. How could the Dalniar, without a crew or anyone steering it, have traveled such an impossible distance? To this day, no one has been able to definitively explain how it got there. But while the Dalniar appeared out of nowhere without any logical explanation, our next mystery presents an even more baffling phenomenon. Taking the 6th spot on our list of Devil's Sea mysteries is a phenomenon that will make you feel like you're traveling through time. Number 6. The unexplained phenomena reported in the Devil's Sea remain an endless enigma, often linked to forces that seem to bend space and time itself. In this region, navigational instruments malfunction without reason, and aircraft controls go haywire, as if the laws of physics no longer apply. Some researchers believe this area contains magnetic anomalies, underwater black holes, or even extraterrestrial interference. One of them, Lauren Coleman, suggests that some unknown forces in the Dragon's Triangle can destabilize technology, causing planes and ships to veer off course unpredictably. Phenomenon. Let's take a look at the terrifying experience of Arthur Godfrey, a well-known American radio and television broadcaster. One day, while piloting a twin-engine aircraft over the Dragon's Triangle, he saw something that shook him to the core. A massive, unidentified submerged object, or USO, moving beneath the ocean's surface. Immediately after spotting it, all of the plane's instruments failed. With no navigation systems, no working controls, and no way to contact air traffic control, Godfrey had no choice but to use the sun as his only guide. After several minutes of pure uncertainty, the plane's instruments suddenly came back to life. But that wasn't the strangest part. When Godfrey checked the onboard clock, he realized something impossible. Time had gone backward by 30 minutes. Luckily, he made it safely to Tokyo, but the mystery of the missing time would haunt him forever. And yet, as bizarre as this case may seem, our next mystery is something straight out of a horror movie. Number 5. What happens when a massive ship is found drifting aimlessly, with no crew on board. Taking the fifth spot on our list are the encounters with ghost ships. Pause with eerie sound. The first chilling encounter took place in the early hours of June 11, 1881, when the HMS Bacchante, a British Navy vessel, was sailing through the Devil's Sea. There, the crew came face to face with one of the most legendary ghost ships in history, the Flying Dutchman. And one of the witnesses was none other than the future King George V of England, who at the time was serving as a Navy lieutenant. In the ship's logbook, the captain recorded the eerie moment in which the Flying Dutchman crossed their path at exactly 4 a.m. The vessel was glowing with a strange phosphorescent light, drifting slowly on the port side of the HMS Bacchante before vanishing into thin air. There was no trace of the ship, near or far, as if it had never been there at all. Was it just a trick of the light, an optical illusion, or was it something much more sinister? Pause for tension. Another terrifying encounter occurred in 1989, over the same waters of the Devil's Sea. That year, a Japanese whaling ship, captained by Moro Sagakami, was sailing under clear skies when the crew spotted a small fishing vessel drifting erratically. As they got closer, they noticed something deeply unsettling. There was no sign of a crew, no cargo, nothing. Only one thing remained on board: the lifeless body of the captain, still clutching the wheel. Pause for eerie effect. Pause with suspenseful music, something that you'll witness in our next mystery. Number 4. From beyond this world. Taking the fourth spot on our list, we have extraterrestrial craft. Pause with eerie sound. There are countless reports of unbelievable experiences in the Devil's Sea, making it a prime location for researchers like Charles Berlitz, who dedicated years to studying the area. In his book Dragon's Triangle, Berlitz speculated that the deadly events in these waters weren't just linked to unidentified submerged objects, USOs, but also to their aerial counterparts, unidentified flying objects, UFOs. But these mysteries go back much further in time. In ancient history, Japanese and Chinese legends spoke of mystical creatures that rose from the sea, beings that were both feared and worshipped. According to Fred G. Nothelfer, an expert in Eastern mythology, these legendary dragons were actually inspired by real events, specifically extraterrestrial encounters. And Junichiro Kato, a veteran UFO researcher in Japan, has recorded over 200 sightings of UFOs and USOs near the Japanese coastline. One of the most astonishing cases occurred on June 14, 1997, when Kato captured a glowing disc on camera, moving at over 800 kilometers per hour above Tokyo Bay. But the Soviet Navy also had its own encounters in these waters. Captain Vladimir Ajajade, a Soviet officer, led an investigation into the strange events in the Devil's Sea. And on August 18, 1980, his crew witnessed something incredible. A massive, metallic cylindrical object rising from the sea before vanishing into the sky at incomprehensible speed. Soviet experts at the time concluded that this object was not of earthly origin, but the strange sightings didn't stop there. In 1981, the Japanese vessel Taki Kyotomaru had another terrifying encounter. A huge UFO, over 15 meters in diameter, emerged from the sea and hovered above the ship, disrupting all its instruments and causing a 15-minute time loss in the ship's logs. And on December 14, 1984, yet another Japanese research ship, the Kaiyu Maru, reported seeing strange lights in the sky over the Devil's Sea. So far, we've seen ghost ships, time distortions, and vanished vessels mysteriously reappearing thousands of miles away. But our next mystery would put hundreds of lives at risk as they flew over the Devil's Sea. Number 3. A commercial airplane from TOA Airlines takes center stage at number 3 on our list of Devil's Sea mysteries. It happened in broad daylight when Captain Yoshiharu Inaba, a pilot for TOA Airlines, reported a close encounter with an unidentified flying object while flying over the Devil's Sea. Pause with tension sound. Inaba alerted air traffic control about a long, glowing object, measuring about 15 meters, which was approaching the plane at high speed. As the mysterious craft drew closer, he had no choice but to make an emergency maneuver at 800 kilometers per hour, tilting the aircraft 60 degrees to avoid a collision. But what happened next was even more disturbing. The UFO came to a stop and began following them. Several ground witnesses also saw the phenomenon, including a pilot from Tokyo Airlines who overheard Captain Inaba's urgent radio transmissions. Hours later, the same object was seen again, this time at 2,000 kilometers altitude, moving eastward, heading straight toward the Devil's Sea. The sighting was confirmed by air traffic controller Akira Taguchi, who reported that the UFO had been detected near Hiroshima's mountains and Shikoku Island. The case of Captain Inaba is just one of many mysterious encounters that have taken place in the Devil's Sea, a region notorious for its distortions of space and time. Are these events evidence of extraterrestrial technology or undiscovered natural forces still beyond our understanding? Whatever the truth may be, one thing is certain: the Devil's Sea continues to be one of the most enigmatic and terrifying places on Earth. Fortunately, the passengers who witnessed this event made it home safely, but in our next mystery, things wouldn't end so well. Number 2. The year was 1937. The name Amelia Earhart was already famous, not only for her bravery but also for her groundbreaking achievements in aviation. And now, she was about to attempt her most daring mission yet, a flight around the world. Accompanied by experienced navigator Fred Noonan, she took off from Lae, Papua New Guinea, en route to Howland Island, a journey that would test their skills to the limit. But something went horribly wrong. What began as a historic adventure soon turned into one of aviation's greatest unsolved mysteries, and a case worthy of the number 2 spot on our list. As they flew deeper into the Pacific Ocean, something unexpected happened. All radio transmissions suddenly ceased. Their aircraft vanished without a trace. No wreckage was ever found, no oil spills, and no bodies were ever recovered. Despite an extensive search, the plane and its crew had simply disappeared. Over the years, countless theories have emerged, ranging from mechanical failure to espionage conspiracies. But some researchers believe there may be another explanation, that Earhart and Noonan fell victim to the unknown forces lurking within the Devil's Sea. As if foreseeing her own fate, one of Earhart's last radio transmissions was chilling. "I'm looking east, over the Pacific. I'll be relieved when we've left behind the dangers of this navigation." But she never did. During the final moments of the flight, they experienced instrument failures. Their compass stopped working, leaving them completely disoriented over the vast 3,000-kilometer expanse of ocean. Nearly 90 years later, the mystery of Earhart's disappearance remains unsolved. And unless new discoveries are made, we may never know what really happened to one of the most legendary pilots in history. So far, we've explored chilling and unexplainable phenomena worthy of a horror movie. But what could be stranger than a ghost ship or a UFO chasing a commercial airliner? Stay until the end and find out. Number 1. The winner of this list is a mystery that will make you never want to visit the Devil's Sea. It all began in February 1803, when a group of fishermen spotted something floating on the waves near Hitachi Beach, Japan. It looked like a large, circular object, resembling an incense burner, crafted from a mix of wood and metal. Intrigued but cautious, the fishermen approached the vessel, and inside they found something even more unbelievable. The interior was decorated with strange furniture and bizarre symbols carved into the walls, but the most astonishing discovery was a young woman, around 18 to 20 years old. She had pale pink skin, thick red hair, and white extensions woven into it. Her clothing was unlike anything they had ever seen, made of a soft, flowing fabric that felt silky, yet completely unfamiliar. But there was one thing she never let go of: a small wooden box which she clutched tightly in her hands. When they tried to communicate with her, she responded in a language they could not understand. And so, unable to make sense of the situation, the fishermen left the vessel behind, watching as it drifted away, carrying the mysterious woman and her strange box into the unknown. This event became known as the Utsuro-bune incident, or the Hollow Ship. But it didn't end there. Years later, other accounts of the same story began appearing in Japanese records, each with slight variations, yet all describing the same event. With time, the tale became legend, a mystery that continues to fascinate researchers to this day. Some skeptics believe the woman may have been a lost Russian sailor, while the vessel was simply an unknown type of ship, but others suggest a far more intriguing possibility. What if this was an early UFO encounter? Could the vessel have been a submersible craft, or even an alien spacecraft that had crash-landed in the ocean? The truth remains a mystery, but one thing is clear. The Utsuro-bune legend is one of the earliest recorded cases of an unidentified craft appearing in history, and it serves as further proof that the Devil's Sea is filled with enigmas that may never be solved. We've reached the end of our list. From time distortions and ghost ships to vanishing planes and mysterious encounters, the Devil's Sea continues to be one of the most terrifying and unexplained locations on Earth. Some of these phenomena may have scientific explanations, but others remain unsolved, even today. One thing is for certain. In this vast, untamed ocean, some mysteries go beyond human understanding. What do you think? Which mystery shocked you the most?